Hello, my name is Ron Phillips. As you will note, as you look around, you'll see the plastic and the paper on the walls. This house is being totally renovated, and the fireplace insert is part of that. In 1978, I put a Fuego wood-burning fireplace insert into our home, and we had at that time a coal furnace that had been converted to gas. It was gravity. It was very inefficient. This was a great big two-story house. Our heating bill, October, November in 1978, was over $200. So when I would come home after it got cold, then my children always seemed to have it burning, which was wonderful. It cut our heating bill down considerable to less than $100 a month. I've installed hundreds of the Fuego Flame Fireplace Inserts. Normally on installation I take 3 to 4 hours. And as you watch this video, please remember, if you do this, it may take you a little longer. First, set out your tools. You'll need a drill, 1/8" drill bit, pop rivet gun, caulking gun, tin snips, hammer, screwdriver, and a 3/8" tap. Now I use Hercules furnace cement. It is usually softer and slower to dry. I also like to have an extra tube of high temperature silicone. After I remove the insert from the shipping box, the box becomes my trash box. Here you see how the Fuego Fireplace posi ceiling plate and collar will look from this angle. Now this is how the plate and collar will look just prior to permanently installing the insert. Now let's start from the beginning and show how to measure and make the posi flue ceiling plate.
Okay.
Then we go back, get the depth, and it's got to be a level line. That's 14. Now on back here we measure. That's 27. Okay, so we have to work that. Then we also want to know this distance here, which is 4.5. Okay.
What's that distance?
The thickness of the brick here. Okay. The plate is pre-stamped, but when you measure from here to here, they're at 7 3/8. So we subtract that, and that will determine where the front of the fireplace is. We want it about in here, okay? Let's prepare the insert. Tap the bolt holes on the bottom of the insert to remove any excess paint or weld material. This makes it easier to work with. Now, install the leveling leg bolts in the bolt holes that you just tapped. Place the insert in the fireplace, line it up with the collar. Adjust the leg bolts to approximate height, 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 inch. You always want to tap it, because when they make these, if the paint goes in there, the welding goes in there, if you're trying to work, it just creates a lot of problems. When you're working with the inside of the fireplace, you're not fighting the dirty threads and stuff, you know. See, that's it. Tap in there is a little hard, so you know that been a little hard as a regular bolt. But if it ain't a weld, sometimes that paint alone is really runs down into it. It's thick. Just makes the job easier to do this. Your plate and makeup and then the trim. I now transfer these measurements to my sheet metal ceiling metal. Now I want the front of the insert recessed back about 1 inch. Normally, the punched out ceiling plate is perfect for a brick fireplace front. I will take and cut that, and I usually trim 1/4 inch off the sides, like 3/4 inch off the back if the back of the fireplace is angled. If your fireplace is stone, you will have to trim the front side of the ceiling plate, so it will be only 1 inch or 2 back from the front of the opening. I will then take and try to fit the ceiling plate up inside and see how close I am. I might have to do some additional trimming. I need a good pair of tin snips. And this here, just when I picked it up, I know they use a lot heavier steel than they do normally. Or they're really long. 22 gauge. Best stuff to use. It don't rust. I mean, you know, there's more times it's going to give you any kind of deterioration problems if you got a lot of water coming down the chimney. Bottom. Bottom. All right. So then right over here we go Ron. Well, this is March 03, 05.
Cool.
We sign our work. What you do now is before you go any further, you put this plate up inside the fireplace to see how good you are. You take your plate, your first plate, and you put it up inside to see how good it fits. And then you can make any changes on it, and then the second plate's perfect. Now, you think you're centered, but you go like that and check it. So I'm off a little bit. It's not much, but it's a little bit. What we do here is we're going to center here, okay, between the red brick, which is 34.5 basically. So you determine center, then I've got center on my plate, so that helps me to determine if the plate needs to be left or right, or if I'm absolutely good. Okay. This is the time to trim, if you need any trimming done. Oh, I tell you what, that looks good. We're going to trace the first plate onto the second plate. Then you will cut it out. And at that time, you will sandwich the insulation in between it and trim it. Then you will take and run the U-bar around it, as you see in the film, and you will pop rivet. Well, I'm cutting this. It goes around it.
Oh.
Straight. Okay. Because it's going to fold way in, you have to notch this out. Anyway, so now we've done that, and then you just do this.
Oh, cool.
So now it'll go like that. So now, we tip it up like so, and that's our deal. All right, now, this here comes, these are your fasteners. I always recommend having a few extra pop rivets, just in case you need them. We pop rivet both sides of the plate. This is for the strength, of course. 1/8 inch pop rivet. There we go. putting this corner here, and I'm going here. Through all three pieces there instead of doing two rivets. At the top, okay, bottom and bottom. So that's what we want. I just put it up here to do a trial fit, okay?
All right.
All right, now, this is important here. This is the inside back of the fireplace. On the insert, this is the back. This is where the damper rod goes through, so that has to be toward the back, okay? Then you will take the collar and you will push it down to make a pattern, cut that out. And I do this, I make an impression. Okay. And you will run the short pieces of U-bar in there. These pieces are pre-cut. Okay, to fit inside here. Okay, now, this is the bottom. Install your collar. When I cut out the insulation like that and I put it in, then it gives me a tight fit. Okay? You take a piece of this that's left over, we're going to seal off the ash dome. See there? The ash dome. So it's really just a fit. Put it in my cabinet, just cut it out. purpose of this is to stop the draft of air from coming up underneath it. Then we replace this. We're in business. Okay, this gasket helps to seal the unit from the bottom side. It's Hercules furnace even on the top side, which I will show you in a moment. The sealing plate is now made with the collar installed. You will take the furnace cement around the collar, and so that when you put it up inside, when you pull it down, it will give you positive seal. This seals from the top. When you burn the fireplace, it pulls thousands and thousands of cubic feet of air per hour up the chimney. So this here it's still got the draft, but we're gonna stop it from drafting up the chimney. Let's see, when I pull this down, you can see what's gonna happen. Pull through there. All right, when we have the plate up inside, we're going to pull this down through, which will make it seal all around. We're now ready to hang this plate. One man can do this. I do it all the time. But if you have a helper, this thing all of a sudden weighs about 40 pounds. Then I do this with my finger, which in latex gloves works out pretty good. Now this is how the plate and collar will look just prior to permanently installing the insert. Adjust the leg bolts to approximate height 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 inch. Be sure to put furnace cement around the collar of the fireplace insert as you prepare to slide it into the fireplace. But when the collar goes down, it goes over this seam, so it'll create a seal. Now slide the fireplace insert into the fireplace, pull the collar down to the insert, and adjust the leg bolts so you are going to have at least 1 1/2 inches of airspace on the bottom. Place the nuts on the bolts and tighten. See how much I got to go up. Now adjust the leg bolts for proper height and position the insert and level in the fireplace. Here we lock the leg bolts in place with the nuts provided. Now pull the collar down to join with the insert and be sure it is making a good seal. White goop coming down.
Nope.
See all the white up here?
Oh, yeah.
That tells us it's sealing. On the top, anyway, so now I'm going to take off this excess. All that is left now is to cut the trim and put on the doors. And they're packed in this bubble pack so they do not break. Thermometer, see this here?
Yeah.
Is attached to the doors, so when you unpack your doors, look for your thermometer. Goes in that hole like so. Okay, and the bottom hole down there. There you are. One door. Let's see. See how it's tied?
Nice, yeah.
Now, the door ain't going to close that way. You use your screwdriver, okay, like this. That springs the pin at the bottom.
Springs it?
Well, there's a pin on each corner, see? So now, won't that look neat before it won't close, see? Now here is your latch. There's the damper. You're either going to burn that either here for burning or here. Alright? It's going to flake, you know, and there's nothing I can do about it. Because your insert is level doesn't mean the fireplace is perfectly level. After the doors are on, cut the trim and slide into the clips around the front. There's pieces for the top and for the bottom. 34 7/8. Okay. From the edge of the unit to there is 1 inch. 1 inch. What that means is we've done a real good job centering the unit. Just trying to. This don't take long, I'm telling the truth. Now when you do this, I can control that fire. See how you turn it down? Up,
Wow.
down. Can you see the difference?
I can, actually. It's much wilder like that. My goodness, look at all that airflow.
Yeah, so there's for heat.
Yeah.
Ain't that amazing?
Wow.
Just off a newspaper, you just see that. Your fireplace is now complete. Now all you need to do is throw some wood in and light the fireplace. Oops, wait. Don't do it until tomorrow. Let the silicone dry for 24 hours.